So here's the little house that I've been working on. I've put a lot of little accents on it. I broke up a lot of pine cones, broke them down, and then I decided they needed moss. So that's the side I've done. And you can see the before and after. I didn't start making the video till after I started doing the moss. So I started just adding it in, and there's a view of the side wall. It is nice and clean, and I like that, but I think it needs the charm of the moss. I like to take the edge off of it and hide some of those clean, sharp edges. And so what I do is I got some of this moss, but it's long and stringy and almost like several branches connected. So I broke it all down so it was kind of like dust, and then I ended up putting it on, and you'll see if you actually watch this entire video how I apply it in a couple of different ways. But it's basically you want to get it real fine, is my opinion. It's sticking it on in the long strands. It doesn't look quite right. And so I feel if you chop it up into tiny, tiny, tiny bits and then put it on a little smear of some glue, it has a real nice look. And then once it's dried, the glue, you can brush over it with your hand, and if it covers up the shingles a little bit too much, and you'll see me dust them off here in the video again, I'll get to that. Oh, you'll see it. So I chopping it all up. This is just a comparison to show you how it's long and stringy and then how it was chopped up. So squirt some glue in. I noticed that the tablet's going away. I think I'm okay on copyright infringement. Can't really see what's going on there, but so what I'm doing is I took this little tool that came in the mystery craft tote. There was a bunch of quilting accessories, and I believe that this is for stuffing, filling into small areas for sewing. So anyway, it also has like little notches with I think dimensions on it. I'll have to look at it better. It's hard to see. And then I just take some of the moss and I poke it in with a little stick, and then the stick's still sticky, so it's easy to pick moss up with it. And I end up changing, like I said, later on, you'll see. But so for most of the way, all the way on the other side, I did it one at a time, each little section. I kind of found this to be tedious, but then really meditational in a way. Kind of just like the the simplicity of it. And honestly, I've always enjoyed seeing the fruits of my labor. When I had a landscaping company, it was very satisfying to see the end product. And I enjoy the journey for the most part on most things. And so I kind of like the process. And just, watching things come together. And I think some part of me likes the real methodical process of elimination of things. And I find I'm not real big into zodiacs and whatnot. I don't know this or that about it, but it does seem to have something to it. And Capricorn, supposed to be super organized, and like sometimes I can see that in my notes, but my cabinets are a mess. I don't know, I'm pretty tidy. I'm pretty structured, actually. Yeah, just poking moss in the little cracks, and I use my fingers. Ended up being my favorite tool. You can't beat the tools that you're given at the ends of your arms. They seem to be the most effective. But the little poker thing definitely came in handy quite a bit. Poor O'Brien, he's having to go and unhook the water hose. It's like 32 degrees. It froze our water pipes. He had to disconnect the hose and turn off the water so that it wouldn't freeze up overnight. I'm really happy about being at the 1,000 Trails. We've got hookups, but with the temperature... But yet, the amenities are nice, but when they don't work, you sure do miss them. I can't really remember what I was saying. Brian started talking to me, and then we had a smaller conversation. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned the hot water, the water we just turned off and unhooked the hose to the travel trailer. Anyway, so here I am, just sticking the moss to the little edges, and it hides the sharp edges. And I really wish that I had used sticks or twigs as the gutter system, I guess, so to speak, the awning, the edging. But I worked with these little popsicle sticks and put crystals on them. Damn it. And so I find this relaxing, and here I am just sticking the moss. I have a not great movie playing in the background. I like to listen to music while I do this, but I was having a hard time getting a good signal. So I need to make a playlist. And then definitely incorporate some headphones. Don't want to dominate the audio space of the structure. 2 people in a small space. You got to be conscientious. Gluing the shingles one at a time. A little bit of moss. That's what's on my mind. Stick, stick, stick it. Stick, stick, stick it. I ended up having to cut up a lot more moss than I expected. I did not go anywhere near as far as I had expected, honestly. They say a little goes a long way, and that's true with paint and glue, but not so much with moss. And man, that really does just take the sharp edge off and make it look so nice. And then, like I said, once it's all nice and dry, like tomorrow, I can dust it off like I did the other side, and then it really exposed the shingles a lot more, and so they didn't disappear as much as it looks. They clean up nicely. And I always work with just a little bit of glue at a time, because it does get sticky and dry out and get hard. Not fast by any means, but if you put like a whole cup full out, it would get real sticky and a real thick film a lot faster than I feel like I would use it. So that's why I keep working with such little quantities. Clean up your mess, little crumb bum. Don't be a crumb bum. Ta-da! See, I can brush them off on that side. I did that side yesterday. Then I kind of roughed it up. And I like the way it exposed the shingles. Scrape them up. And I do plan on going and getting some little sticks tomorrow and creating like a base trim, which is what I wished I had done along the top. But I don't know. I'd like some opinions on the white trim with the little sparkle edge. I kind of wanted that flower to be, I think, an acorn or something of that nature. And so here I am. Oh, I'm doing the ridge cap. Or the other, no, still finishing the roof. I just did it. Seems like I would know. And I'm not sure if the commentary on this thing is appreciated or not, but then I figure you can always hit mute. And you can hit fast forward, and you can skip to the end. There are a lot of options here. Painting the shingles one at a time. Yeah. I intend to make several creations, and I'm going to have things for sale. Excuse me. My skill set will improve, and the uniqueness will be there. There'll be lots of variety. I have lots of ideas and parts that I'm assembling. This is going to be really cool, actually. And I plan on setting up and selling some of these things. And say, look at here. This mass production mossing. Boom, boom, boom. once I realized that once it's all dried and I can smoosh it up, that makes it go quicker. But if you just like sprinkle a whole bunch on, then cram it in and just paint the lines where you want the moss, and then it falls off the rest. So I'll have a before and after. Well, not a before and after. I'll have a this way or that way example, because I did one side of the roof exceptionally patient and tedious, and on this side I made some shortcuts, and you can see where it's a lot fuzzier and frizzier, but I'm going to go through and tighten all that up, which I feel will be super easy to do, but I need it to set up and get hard. That way just the little poofy parts just crumble off. But I found cramming a whole bunch into the areas where I put the glue was very effective, honestly, and then brushing it off looked pretty good. And putting each little piece of moss on by hand. Well, I'd have to charge like 1.2 million bucks for this little cottage so that I made a penny an hour. So, just out of some sort of practicality, I had to find some kind of shortcut. I'll be shocked if I get anything for this little cottage, but I'm going to keep putting the love on it, making it happen. Build all of it accessories, build the other little houses, build beach cottage. My next project are the Adirondack chairs that go in front of the little cottage. And I found a template that I guess I could either trace from my phone. I don't have a printer, but I really want to print out these little template that I was signed up for and got. That side does look a lot tighter. The ones I did yesterday, I can tell a difference. Clean up your mess, crumb bum. Alright. See, this side's messy, but we'll brush it off. Okay, now I decide that it's a little too clean everywhere, so I'm going to do moss on the rocks. And I start with the same tedious thing at first before I realized I should use the same method as I used on the roof. So start off doing it real patient, one little rock at a time. You still have to with the glue no matter what. There's no way around that. But the moss application, if you have a nice enough chopped up fine dust, it just sticks to the glue and the rest brushes off. So that's my little hack for mossing. I've got a light balanced on a shoebox so I can see. And I made several videos, actually, of all the different steps and phases of this creation. However, I set it up right next to my right hand. And, well, you know what? I'm right-handed. Well, you couldn't see anything that I did because all you could see is my hand. So it's a super uninteresting video. Not like this one. Riveting. Painting the glue. And then the moss was really awesome for covering up any little inconsistencies or imbalances. Like the ledging that I put up around the edge of the three sides, the two sides and the back. It's like a little shelf to trim off the rock wall. Well, they were supposed to be flush, but they are not flush. And building a rock wall up just that much more was a bigger challenge than I wanted to take on. Some tedious tweezer pebble work action. So anyway, chopping it up. So I used some scissors at this point. I went for mass production on the moss breaking. I broke it up with my fingers earlier, but I found this to be better for production, so to speak. Volume. Chop, 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 chop. Ooh, yeah. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Yum, 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 yum. It's like Pac-Man. Waka, waka, waka. Ooh, I'm really getting it up. Yum, 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 yum. And see, here's a before and after. Ta-da! Anyway, I'm working with the after. That's what we're going for. A little bit of glue. Don't want a big skim. Alright. I've been saying I need to go get sticks every day for like 2 weeks. I think I'm going to actually break down and go do it. Oh, Brian's got his headphones on. He can't hear me. Ha ha. Here's my opportunity to talk about Brian. He'll never know. Except for when he watches the videos. Ha ha. Does he watch the videos? Whoa. He's got his headphones on. He didn't hear that. But somebody sounded like they just shot off a big old shotgun. They did say that the dumpsters and the garbages were all locked up after dusk because of the bear activity. Bears? What? Oh, and I got some donations for parts, like the moss was donated. But one of the things that I've got was, I was just talking how I wanted a little teeny tiny kitty cat sitting on the ledge. And I'd be doggone if someone didn't stick in a little tiny miniature figurine of a kitty cat. And I guess I'm going to put it on this. That was my plan. I want to save it kind of for the next little beach cottage. The next thing I'm making is a beach cottage. But I feel like the cat goes on here. And I think I might go to a bead store. If I can actually sell some of these things, I'm going to go and buy specific like beads that I want in particular. But I've got a more natural approach coming in mind. I've got acorns and sticks and little cots with moss woven raffia mats and stuff and little doors that work. I've been watching Etsy or looking at Etsy creations and really want to up my game. Look at that. Boom. Just put a whole ton of it on there. Cram it in. Brush off the excess. Boom. See, now that was so much quicker. So I'm going to clean it up tomorrow and confirm that it looks good. But I really feel that it will. It's a little shaggier. But I think that's an easy fix, like I said. So I decided to fix the chimney. There was a couple of holes that were too big. I'm sorting through the gravel. So we were parked at the beach at the South Jetty in Florence. There's some sea glass and a couple pieces of seashell in there. But I needed tiny little pieces, but they were too dark. And they just didn't match. It was such too weird of an contrast of stones. And so, even though I started, I aborted this plan. No, do not like it. Try about this one. Fits, but looks like junk. Alright, let's get the original pebbles back out. Here we go. A little sorting of size. Classification. That's what you do when you're mining for gold. You classify out the big stuff. So that's what I'm doing, classifying. And finding little tiny rocks. That's the name of the game. Is it a triangle? Is it a triangle wedge? It's a little square. Anyway, I found some and it looks really cute. I'll take a picture up close when I make the next video. I'm going to put sticks and stuff and trim around along the bottom edge and put some little steps. There's going to be a little walkway. There's going to be a water feature. There's going to be an arbor with a door and a little bench. 2 Adirondack chairs. A little lace looking patio courtyard. It's gonna be snazzy fancy town now. Uptown in the middle of nowhere in the woods. I keep calling them fairy houses because that's what they're known as, but I have like zero fairy stuff going on. I mean, the little lantern, it's kind of fairyish. It's whimsical for sure. I mean, but for all I know, a frog could jump in there. It could be a little frog house if it was outside. But I don't think they're going to sell as frog houses. Okay, so fairy houses they are. They're cute. Cottage gore, I believe, is the category somehow this is known as. Oh, great angle. You can't see any of that. But it looks good. You'll just have to take my word for it. You can see it in the pictures later. This Hello Cottage is getting cuter and cuter, though, the more I do. Alright. Admiring my handiwork. Okay, so here's a little picture of the fixed chimney where I filled in the gaps. And there's a picture of the back, and it really needs something. But you can see the chimney on all the sides. I'll show you the cleaned up moss tomorrow. There's the front, the little leaf, and that's actually a bead. Look, a kitty cat.